This presentation will discuss the impact of parental conflict on a child's relationships and well-being. Delving into how early relational experiences, particularly with parental conflict, attachment and well-being, shape a child's ability to build healthy relationships. This topic has been chosen due to its relevance in child development and mental health. The aim of this presentation is to bring awareness to parents and allow them to feel knowledgeable and empowered by the importance of their relationship and its impact on their children. By better understanding these dynamics, we can help families find support, build a healthier environment, and improve child outcomes. Current research consistently demonstrates that children exposed to frequent parental conflict are affected in numerous ways, such as Burnett states that children who have been exposed to parental conflict may express heightened behavioral, physical, cognitive, and affective symptoms. Additionally, Hess found that parental conflict links with a decrease in prosocial behavior and increased peer problems. This research also states that parental warmth mediates this relationship, that increased conflict leads to reduced parental warmth, which can diminish children's social competence. More specifically, 54.9% of the total effect on prosocial behavior was mediated by parental warmth. Furthermore, a meta-analysis of 68 studies found that interparental conflict is significantly associated with children's likelihood to externalize problems. This research suggests that a child will face significant challenges when attempting to develop relationships due to having an aggressive or defiant symptoms, which can in turn have a long-term effect on their mental health. The National Scientific Council of the Developing Child in 2004 states that the absence of secure, positive relational bonds delays social cognition, empathy, and communication skills. Additionally, limiting their school readiness, peer acceptance, and emotional development, which are considered key factors of mental health. Therefore, these children are at a greater risk of developing depression, anxiety, poor emotional regulation, and low resilience. Parental conflict can affect the attachment style developed between the parent-child relationship. This occurs by disrupting the child's emotional security, shaping long-term emotional and relational outcomes. Bowlby's attachment theory states the importance of a secure, positive parent-child relationship, as this is the basis for future relational patterns. There are 4 different types of attachment styles, each influence how a child develops. The secure attachment style involves consistent, responsive parents who are emotionally available and the child feels safe even if conflict occurs. The avoidant attachment style consists of parents who are emotionally dismissive and distant. These children are likely to suppress emotional needs. They tend to devalue relationships, show less empathy or emotional closeness. This predicts a challenge in developing and maintaining close peer and romantic relationships. The ambivalent attachment style involves an inconsistent household at times, nurturing and then distant, which is likely to occur in a high-conflict households. Parental conflict enhances unpredictability, which increases the child's need for reassurance. These children tend to fear abandonment and are anxious in relationships. Lastly, the disorganized attachment style. This often develops in dysfunctional or traumatic environments such as violent or emotionally abusive households. Here, the parents are a source of comfort and fear, leaving the child confused. This attachment style can lead to emotional and behavioral problems as well as an increased risk of mental health challenges. Overall, this shows how deeply parental conflict affects attachment and how the parent-child relationship can shape a child's emotional development, well-being, and future relationships. The following is a TED Talk by Yoko Munakata, where she uses a metaphor to discuss how parents affect children, describing how seemingly insignificant conditions can lead to unpredictable consequences over time.
The butterfly, the proverbial one that flaps its wings in China, perturbing the atmosphere just enough to shift wind currents that make their way to the skies over tropical white beaches, intensifying the water evaporating from the ocean in a spiral of wind, and fueling a hurricane in the Caribbean, 6 weeks after that flutter of wings. If you are a parent, you are the butterfly, flapping your wings. Your child is the hurricane, a breathtaking force of nature. You will shape the person your child becomes like the butterfly shapes the hurricane, in complex, seemingly unpredictable, but powerful ways. The hurricane wouldn't exist without the butterfly.
Using the butterfly effect metaphor in relation to this topic, parental conflict or emotional neglect can seem minor in a moment, although this shapes the child's internal working model of relationships and their long-term mental health. It is evident that children's attachment styles strongly influence their emotional well-being. Secure attachment styles increase self-esteem, whereas insecure attachment styles increase the risk of mental health illnesses. Rosenberg discusses the self-concept theory, which links poor well-being to negative self-appraisals and relationship difficulties. When a child doesn't feel safe or supported, this shapes how they view themselves, and this self-image follows them into all kinds of relationships. Cole states that experiencing emotional regulation difficulties as a child impacts future peer and adult relationships. If a child can't regulate their emotions such as frustration, anger, or sadness, it becomes challenging to navigate friendships and solve conflicts in healthy, productive ways. Furthermore, Eisenberg states that social and emotional regulation influence a child's empathy, which is essential when forming relationships. Empathy is typically learned throughout childhood via emotionally supportive environments. Without this foundation, it is much more difficult to connect meaningfully with others. When children struggle to build friendships, it affects their whole identity, not just their social life. As Erikson's psychosocial theory states, the stages of childhood and adolescence are when children begin to explore who they are and where they fit in. The theory mentions that without secure friendships, they could feel isolated or different, which impacts their self-concept. The lack of sense of belonging can cause children to become vulnerable to any inclusive group, even if this means falling into a problematic crowd. Research refers to this method where children support and influence each other into negative behaviors as deviancy training. These poor and unstable relationships increase the likelihood for mental health illnesses. Friendship difficulties and low social support are linked to lower academic engagement, increased high school dropout rates, and an increase in likelihood of criminal behavior. Given the impact that parents have on children's lives, it's important to focus on early intervention and support available to families that are in place across schools, communities, and healthcare services. Research discusses the importance of addressing interparental conflict early on to reduce or prevent the lack of social skills and challenging behavior in children. They discuss that interventions may be crucial for better outcomes. Cummings and Davies state that consistent external support, even when parental conflict is frequent, can help children's sense of emotional security. The Department for Education in 2021 began to oversee family hubs and a Start for Life program, which provides early help for families. They offer parenting advice, counselling, and child development support. The Department for Education also ensures that support is provided in schools via school counsellors and mental health support teams. Additionally, online support is available for parents who are concerned about their mental health of their children. This is Young Mind Parents Helpline. Support is also available for children themselves. Childline provides confidential support for children experiencing distress. Feinberg states that parent workshops are a positive way to inform parents on the influence their relationship has on their children's lives. For parenting interventions, the Triple P, Positive Parenting Program, provides multi-level parenting support to reduce behavioural and emotional problems in children and improve overall family dynamics. This is widely used and evidence-based. Research findings show significant positive effects on child and parent mental health outcomes. In the following clip, Ebony Roberts reflects how her parents' relationship shaped her emotionally.
Watching my father raise the pistol to my mother's head, she pleaded with him to put the gun down, but he ignored her. When she bolted toward the door, he followed close behind, and once outside, he fired one single shot. I was 12. I remember this moment frame by frame. I remember feeling numb. I remember feeling alone. Thank God the bullet missed her, but my family would never be the same. I would never be the same. I didn't know then all the ways that my parents' on-again, off-again relationship would impact me, but I knew I didn't want to love like theirs. My story would be different.
It is evident that witnessing the struggles of her parents' relationship has had a lasting impact on her. That this highlights the generational impact that unresolved parental conflict can have on a child's emotional and relational development. Research shows that children who are exposed to repeated conflict may normalize instability and become desensitized, which impacts their expectations in future relationships. Her awareness of this cycle has prompted her to actively choose a different path for her own child. This is a powerful example of breaking this pattern. In this next clip, Ebony and her ex-partner Shaka share their approach in parenting after the separation.
Co-parenting is so much more than scheduling pick-up and drop-off, play dates, deciding what he's going to wear, what he's going to eat. For us, it's about helping each other carry the weight, unpack the load, and to show up in the world in a way that honors the beauty of our son. And it's for these reasons that we do affirmations.
We never thought we'd be here, but here we are. And we hope that the way that we show up for Sekou and for each other is a model of what successful co-parenting can look like.
This illustrates the concept of intentional co-parenting, where both parents consciously prioritize the emotional needs of their child above their own disagreements. This approach can be described as a preventative model, reducing the emotional stress on children and decreasing the risk of them repeating negative relational patterns in the future. To summarize, we've discussed the impact conflict has on a child's life. Children are observant, therefore, the way that parents handle conflict, support each other, and cooperate is internalized by children. This results in them expecting and expressing what they observe in a relationship in their future. Following this, significant mental health outcomes potentially arise if children struggle forming and maintaining relationships. Lastly, numerous support services were stated which are available for both parents and children to help manage conflict and support the family.